Parish here at the St. Mary City Park Fields as we get set for some Lumberjack softball action. It is senior night for the Lumberjack girls. They were supposed to have the boys baseball team playing today as well, but the rain that came in today kind of put the damper on that game up at the City Park Fields. So we've got just a single softball game here tonight, and it's the varsity girls hosting the Orofino Maniacs in an all-important league matchup here today. It is also senior night. They're honoring the girls and boys here at this game since the boys didn't get to play due to the field conditions. So they will all get their honors mentioned, of course, so that's good. 54 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Field looks pretty good for the game today, so hopefully the weather will hold out. We've got some partly cloudy skies, a lot of sun breaks and blue sky out there, so hopefully everything will go well with the game this afternoon. We are trying the Sideline HD once again. Hopefully we can get something that'll work, that'll feed our audio into it as well. I thought I had it figured out, so we'll find out if it's working right. I will check during this break, in fact, to see what's going on. But anyways, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with a little bit of a pregame as we get set for the Maniacs here in St. Mary's taking on the Lumberjacks.
With a P1FCU Ascend checking account, you get more than great dividends. Imagine having an entire branch in your pocket. Who needs a checkbook when you have a digital wallet? The only thing I check these days are my dividends.
Access your account anytime, anywhere. Simplify your life and start earning more with Ascend checking. Get yours today at p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, your community, your credit union. Insured by NCUA.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's. Well, well, well. Are you in need of a reputable, experienced, and knowledgeable well drilling and pump company? Look no further than Interstate Drilling and Pump. Interstate Drilling and Pump drills new wells, deepens existing wells, installs and repairs pumps, and does well testing both for water quality and gallons per minute. Interstate Drilling and Pump has 24-plus years of experience and serves from Moscow to Rathdrum and the Silver Valley. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on their schedule today. That's Interstate Drilling and Pump, 208-245-5101. 208-245-5101, Interstate Drilling and Pump.
Tax time is here again. I know, it's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care, so you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
And we are back here at St. Mary City Park Fields as your Lumberjack girls set to host the Orofino Maniacs on senior night. The sun is shining at the moment. The field looks good, so hopefully we'll get some good weather for throughout the game. Quick update, the game for the boys today that was canceled will not be made up. District tournament action starts tomorrow, I think I was told, and they will be playing at Kellogg tomorrow. The boys will be playing at Kellogg tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and that'll be for a play-in to the district tournament games, district tournament. So the loser will be done for the season. The winner will go on to move into the district tournament to play for a chance to head to the state tournament. Just a heads up for that, we are not going to be available to head up to Kellogg to cover that game. We have some prior commitments that we have to be at, so that's going to be a kind of a tough thing for us, but I do think that Wildcats Live has been trying to broadcast some of the games out there for the baseball and softball. So if I can find a link for that, and they are, we'll get that link out to you guys so you have a way to check it out for that. So tomorrow, I believe it is, the boys will be playing in district play-in game, and it says, well, it says 4 o'clock on this bracket, but Wickard told me 3 o'clock. So that is just an update on that. Now, I did say that this game is a all-important game in the end of the season, and that's kind of the way you like these to come out to sometimes, coming down to the last game of the year. And the Maniacs and the Lumberjacks right now are tied in league records. So they both have a 9-2 record in conference play. 12-7 for Orofino. St. Mary's is 11-6. So you can see how well these teams are matched up together. This game, whoever wins this game, will be the league champion and will get to host all of their district tournament games. So it is a very important game. Let's see here. So with just a quick look at that. Now, these two teams have already played once up in Orofino, or a doubleheader up in Orofino. The first game was a little lopsided. St. Mary's had some struggles in that one, and I think it was 16-4 or something like that. The second game was a lot closer, and it was a good matchup. So I think this game here today will be that as well. It'll come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. That's one thing that St. Mary's can't have today is errors, and we'll see if they can rise to that challenge. I know against Kellogg last week over at the Potlatch Deltic Fields, the first game, St. Mary's had a few too many errors that almost cost them that game against Kellogg in game one. Second game, they did a pretty good job. So we'll see what Lumberjack girls come out today. They are on a 4 or 5 game winning streak, so they're doing pretty good right now, and maybe kind of peaking at the right time of the season, so to speak. So again, like I said, big game here this afternoon, and the winner of this game will get to host district tournament action. We'll take another quick break, come back, and maybe we'll get through, mention a couple of our seniors in the next segment we've got coming up.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau Insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products including auto, home, commercial, and life, plus they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Other places make you pay extra for that, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less. Book your appointment at leschwab.com. Terms and conditions apply. See leschwab.com for details.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those Lumberjacks.
Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need, from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler dropped in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goal. Hughes Ace Hardware is the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time.
referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Idaho so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Bennewash, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work? M&S can do that too with their bucket truck. M&S Electric, 408 Main Avenue, St. Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric.
And we are back, and the good news is it does appear that our video stream is working at the moment, but every time I plug the charger in to my tablet, it doesn't seem to want to charge and run the game and allow the audio and all that stuff in at the same time. So hopefully my battery in my tablet will stay charged long enough to complete the game. That could be the only issue we have today. So we will keep that going as long as we can for the audio or the video stream on both YouTube and our Facebook page and see how it goes. And then we'll go from there on figuring out things to make it better. But right now it seems to be doing okay as far as that's concerned. It really sucks when they took out the headphone jacks off of these tablets and stuff, and now you have to use a adapter to plug in both your charger and your headphones or your microphone. So anyways, with that being said, let's see here. We've got the Lumberjacks and the Maniacs in a league game. This is basically for the league championship and for who will get to host district play. And we mentioned that it is senior night, so let's take a quick look real quick at some stats. So Orofino batting .368 on the season. They have a total of 15 home runs on the year. Their heavy hitter is Riley Diffin. She's a senior with 9 home runs on the year. She had 2 of them against St. Mary's when they played up in Orofino. Next up is Livia Johnson as a heavy hitter. She has 5 home runs on the year as well. She is also a senior. Let's see here. Their fielding percentage, .890. They have 54 errors on the season. And their pitching, they have an earned run average of 7.0. For the Lumberjacks, they have a batting average of .316 on the year. And Maddie Thomas, let's see here. The leading, St. Mary's has 7 home runs on the year. Adeline Turner has 3. Addison Stewart has 3. And Maddie Thomas with 1. And moving on down to the fielding, St. Mary's fielding percentage is .839. I mentioned errors earlier. St. Mary's has 66 errors on the season, probably one of the negatives to their defensive play. Their earned run average, though, in pitching, 4.30. Addie Stewart, who will start in the pitching circle today with a 3.46 earned run average on the year. So the Lumberjacks, and I don't know how to really quantify it, but these girls have had an up and down as far as errors are concerned on the season. They'll have one game where they only have a couple of errors, and the next game they might have 6. So the consistency there is what they needed to get worked out. These last 5 or 6 games they've played pretty well, so we'll just have to see how they do tonight or this afternoon. Playing against a team like Orofino, they definitely have to avoid the errors. So that'll be my key to the game tonight, really, to be honest with you, is getting the bats going. They need to watch Riley Diffin and Olivia Johnson, of course, how they pitch to them and not give them anything that's really good looking to swing at because they can put it over the fence. And like I said, just the defensive play. They're going to have to make their plays and keep the errors to a minimum. Taking a look at some of our seniors tonight, I guess we'll start with the boys. First off, Landon Holmes, the senior for Lumberjack baseball team. His guardians are Janelle and Andy Holmes. He has 10 years of playing baseball. After high school, Landon plans to attend the University of Idaho and study business. Activities in school, baseball, basketball, and soccer. His most memorable moment was breaking Riley Abel's nose his sophomore year. Landon would like to thank his mom and dad for getting him to love the sport. Grammy, Wyatt, Sophia, Aunt Sarah, Uncle Chris, the Teft family, Brian Lounsbury, Drake Lounsbury, all the boys, Kaysen Bassler, his teammates, Tim Parrish and KOFE Radio for broadcasting the games, and Jim and Kathy. That is Lumberjack senior baseball player Landon Holmes. Next up is John Keneally, his guardians, Sean and Kimberly Keneally. He has 4 years of playing baseball. After high school, he plans to go to college to be a veterinarian. His activities in school include baseball, football, BPA, and ASB. His most memorable moment is spitting seeds into Sawyer's hood at the Liberty game. John would like to thank his father, his mother, Kelly, Kevin, Valerie Valdez, Nana, Granddad, Coach Lounsbury, Coach Drake, Coach Bassler, Cody Teff, Trenton Ribrick, Jerry Thompson, Ricky Paco, Tatham, Prayer, his teammates, and his freshman boys. That is senior John Keneally, or as he is known affectionately by most of his teammates, Texas John. And our next senior for the boys is Cody Teft. His guardians, Jenny and the late Craig Teft. Years of playing baseball, not enough, he says. After high school, Cody plans to attend the University of Idaho. His activities in school, baseball, soccer, and wrestling. His most memorable moment was finding out the rainbow trout in his elite pitch, Cody would like to thank his mom for always supporting him, his sister and grandparents for always being there, Brian Lounsbury, Drake Lounsbury, Bassler, Dennis and Pinky Humphrey, Hayden and Josie Humphrey, Cindy Willard, Buckler, Jody Schurmeister, Matt and Donata Rogers, the Ribrick family, Keith Starr, Todd Gilkey, Josh Richmond, Mr. Pfeiffer, Chase and Shannon Bennett, Christy and Brian, and all of his family and friends, and anyone else that he forgot. And above all, he'd like to thank Jesus Christ. That is your Lumberjack seniors, and that was the last one was Cody Teft. And we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back, I think, with your lineups.
For all of your area high school sports schedules, updates, and recaps, including Lakeside, Kootenai, and of course, St. Mary's High School, pick up your copy of the St. Mary's Gazette-Record every Wednesday. Not only will they have game recaps and highlights for area high school sports action, but local news and information. St. Mary's Gazette-Record, pick up a copy today. Country Meats, formerly Scheffelmeyer's, is a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports. Country Meats offers retail meats as well as custom processing of your farm-raised animals. Country Meats has a retail shop in Harrison currently open on Saturdays, or stop by their main shop at 18500 South Lane Road in Cataldo. Check out Country Meats' website, countrymeatsid.com, and follow them on Facebook for updates on hours and special offers. That's Country Meats, formerly Scheffelmeyer's, also proud supporters of the Benoit County Fair. When you need that morning pick-me-up before work or school, there's one place that comes to mind. It's a place that loves our community, the St. Mary's Lumberjacks, and all the local businesses and people in our village. Shift and Grind in St. Mary's is all about the community. Whether it's helping raise money for the Booster Club or for a family in need, the Shift and Grind family are always ready to help. So be sure to stop by Shift and Grind for your caffeinated needs. Located at 132 First Street in St. Mary's, Shift and Grind says, "Go Lumberjacks!"
And we are back as both teams and captains and coaches meet at home plate with the umpires to get things rolling here at St. Mary's City Park Fields. Lumberjacks taking on the Maniacs in a league softball matchup. Important, very important league matchup. Really quickly, before we get the lineups, we'll get you one of our senior Lumberjack girls. The first one is Mia Asbury. Her guardians, Chris Asbury, Rochelle and Tim Fisher, and Aubrey Asbury. She has 12 years of playing softball. After high school, Mia plans to attend Spokane Community College to join her medical sonography program and continue playing volleyball. Activities in school is HOSA, BPA, National Honor Society, leadership, volleyball, and softball. Her most memorable moment was doing Battle of the Bands on the bus to away games, along with being the lead guitarist. Mia would like to thank her mom, her dad, Aubrey, Tim, Grandma Mag, Grandma Patty, Grandpa, Mimi, Brenna, Addie, Danica, Avery, Maddie, Coach Mallet, Lanio, Crum, Tony, Adam Stewart, Becky, Mel, Wickard, Bassler, the Watkins, the Badgetts, Jeff Anderson, Bob, Mike, Tammy, all of her teammates, and anyone else that has supported her along the way. That is St. Mary's Lumberjack senior Mia Asbury. And there is a total, I think, of 6 seniors. We'll go ahead and do one more senior. That is, the next one is Avery Baird. Her guardians, Brenda and Raylan Baird. She has 4 years of playing softball. After high school, Avery plans to attend Boise State University to pursue a degree in cardiac sonography. Her activities in school include softball and basketball, BPA, HOSA, leadership, and National Honor Society. Her most memorable moment was being the lead singer in her band. Avery would like to thank her parents and 6 siblings, Coach Lane and Brianne, Coach Mallet, Coach Tony, Wickard, Becky, Bassler, Mel, Brenna, Mia, Danica, Maddie, Addie, Bailey, the Martins, Tammy, Bob, Mike, her teammates, the Booster Club, everyone that put the field together, everyone who supports the varsity softball team, everyone who has helped her journey along the way, and finally God who made this all possible for her. St. Mary's Lumberjacks senior Avery Baird. Meeting at the home plate is done. Both teams are going back to their dugouts and getting ready to head out to get things going. So let's go ahead and give you a quick look at the Lumberjack defense. Pitching will be Addison Stewart. Behind home plate will be Taryn Brebner. Over at first base, Mia Asbury. Second base will be Lissa Watkins. Third base, Danica Sloper. And I'm pretty sure she might rotate back and forth with Adeline Turner. Shortstop is Brenna Elliott. Over in left field, Kendra Nicholson, Madison Thomas in center, and Avery Baird over in right field for the Lumberjacks. The batting order, first three top of the batting order for the Maniacs will be the number 2 of Bryn Hanna, the number 5 of Sadie Olive on deck, and number 3 of the power hitter Riley Diffin in the hole. So that is a look at your lineup. Let's take a quick look at the batting averages of those 3 for the Maniacs. So Bryn Hanna, she is a junior. She's batting .391 on the season. She has 37 runs, 25 hits, 16 RBIs, 4 doubles on the year. The number 2 batter, Sadie Olive, has a batting average of .350 on the year. She has 29 runs, 21 hits, 16 RBIs, and 2 doubles. And then Riley Diffin, we already mentioned her once. She's batting .500 as a senior. She has 42 runs on 34 hits, 56 RBIs, 7 doubles, 1 triple, and 9 home runs for the season. So she is a definite threat when she's in the batter's box. Now, when they did play up in Orofino, the Lumberjacks started with Watkins in the first game. Maniacs kind of were able to get to hitting on her. In the second game, Addison Stewart was able to keep him a little bit more off balance. So that is who's starting in this one. And the pitching circle is Stewart. And we're ready to go. First batter up, Bryn Hanna for the Maniacs. Outside the box, takes a couple more practice swings, steps in, ready to rock. Addison Stewart doing a little bit of housekeeping real quick at the pitching rubber, looks into Brebner, gets her signals, sets up, and fires the first pitch. Going to get a swing and a miss. Strike 1 is the first pitch to Hanna. 0-1 pitch, next one on the way. That one's going to get that inside corner for strike 2 called. Hanna thinks that one thought it was too far inside. Umpire said nope. Going to take a swing at the next pitch, and it's going to be 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and 1 out now for the Maniacs as Hanna goes down swinging. That'll bring up the number 5 of Sadie Olive. On deck, Diffin. In the hole is Livia Johnson. Stewart ready to fire that first pitch. That one's going to be a called strike 1. Olive stepped out for a minute, back in. Next pitch is just a little bit too far inside. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Olive. One pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. It's a 1-2 count now to Olive. Top of the first inning. Nobody on base for the Maniacs. 1 out. 1-2 count to Olive. Stewart rocks and fires. That one just inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Started out as a cold, wet day. Is looking to be pretty nice now. Next pitch on the way. Olive thought about swinging at it, decided late not to, and wise decision. Ball 3, 3-2 count. Full now to Olive. Rocks and fires. Going to leave that pitch up too high. Ball 4. Runner on base for the Maniacs. Down at first is Olive. 1 out. Riley Diffin, the heavy hitter, steps to the plate. On deck is Livia Johnson. Paige Deo in the hole for the Maniacs. First pitch to Diffin. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Diffin always dangerous when she's up at the plate. That pitch is going to go a little high. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Diffin. One pitch from Stewart. That's going to be lifted out into right field. It'll be a base hit. They're going to bring Olive around to third, and they'll have runners at the corners on the base hit by Diffin. That'll bring up Livia Johnson for the Maniacs. Livia batting .388 on the year. She's a senior. She's recorded 5 home runs. 1 out, runner in scoring position for the Maniacs. She's going to show bunt, does Johnson, pulls it back. They're going to throw it over to second base, and they got her. Riley tried to get over to second and not going to make it. Nice throw from Taryn Brebner. I didn't see if that was a strike or a ball to Johnson. Next pitch is a strike. So I know we've got at least a 1 strike count. I think I heard him say 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch on the way. A little low and inside on that next pitch. 2-1 count to Johnson. On deck is Deo. In the hole is Waters. It's Paige Deo. Maddie Waters in the hole for the Maniacs. 2 outs. That pitch is going to be swung on, lifted into center field. It'll score a run for Orofino. The base hit RBI for Johnson. That one lifted out into center field. So 1 run across for the Maniacs here in the top of the first inning. Maniacs have 2 outs. I'm using my phone instead of my tablet, so I don't know if I'll be able to find the info button on this one in between innings. First pitch to Paige Deo, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Paige Deo, a freshman. Batting .310 on the year, though. 5 doubles. Next pitch, a big swing, but a miss. Strike 2 to Deo. Oh-2 pitch to Deo. On the way. That one's going to miss down low. 1-2 count to Deo. Next pitch on the way. Swings that one. Fouls that one back. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Next pitch is going to be down in the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes now to Paige Deo. Inside again. Runs the count full, 3-2 to Deo. Three-two pitch on the way. Low and inside again. That'll be ball 4. Runners at second and first for Orofino. Brings up Maddie Waters. Maddie, a sophomore, batting .333 on the year. She's hit 2 triples on the year. 2 of the 4 for the Maniacs. Maddie's going to square around a bunt. That ball's going to go foul for strike 1. Pretty good bunt down that first base line. got about halfway between home plate and first base and tailed off out of play. So the count is 0-1 to Waters. Runners at first and second for the Maniacs. They've got one run across here in the top of the first. Stewart has waved 2. Next pitch is going to be a called strike. 0-2 count to Waters. As Stewart has struck out 2 here in the first inning. Next pitch going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will retire the sides. And again, I don't have the option on here, I don't think, for finding the previous information for that inning. But the Maniacs do come up with 1 run. I think they had 2 hits, and they left 2 on base. It's 1-0 in favor of the Maniacs. We'll be back. Lumberjacks will be coming to the plate. It'll be Madison Thomas, Avery Baird, and Addison Stewart, the leadoff 3 for St. Mary's.
Spring is here, and you can make your home beautiful this summer with help from 10th Street Lumber. Besides all the building materials you'll ever need, 10th Street Lumber has landscaping supplies. They have landscaping bricks, concrete bricks, paving bricks, as well as planting materials. So stop by today, whether you're building a deck, a patio, or planting flowers, 10th Street Lumber has it all. 10th Street Lumber at 10th Street and Railroad Avenue, right here in St. Mary's.
Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oakes at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oakes a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255.
And we are back, and actually I was going to get our next senior, but I think I have ran out of time. The next senior that we mentioned will be Brenna Elliott. So we'll do that between the next innings. Maddie Thomas leads off for the Lumberjacks. Thomas batting .406 as a senior. Takes a big swing and a miss for strike 1 on the first pitch. Thomas has 1 home run on the year. Give you the outfield for the Maniacs here in a second. Reese Deo is pitching for Orofino, though. Thought about swinging to the next one. I think that was a strike on that outside corner. Reese Deo, 5.86 ERA on the season. Next pitch is going to be high to Thomas. I think it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Oh, okay, so one of those pitches was a ball. So we got 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think that one that I thought was a strike was outside. So it's a 2-2 count to Thomas. Next pitch on the way. She's going to lift that one out into right field. Deep shot, and it's going to be over the fence. The leadoff batter for the Lumberjacks hits the home run to get things started and to tie things up. Nice hit by Thomas into right field. One hit ties things up. That gives Thomas her 2nd home run of the season. I think her first home run of the season was an in the park home run. That'll bring up Avery Baird for the Lumberjacks. Avery, a senior, batting .328 on the year. First pitch is ball 1. Avery has three doubles and a triple on the year. Next pitch is up high. 2 balls, no strikes to Baird. On deck is Addison Stewart. In the hole is Adeline Turner. 2-0 count from Deo. Pitch on the way. That one's going to be popped up and foul over the backstop. Count is 2-1 now to Baird. No outs, nobody on. Leadoff batter hit a home run. That was Maddie Thomas. Ties the game up at 1 apiece. 2-1 pitch on the way. Low and outside. 3-1 count to Baird. Baird in control right now. .3-1 pitch on the way. She's going to swing at that one, get a piece of it, fouls it up and over. Count goes to 3-2 now to Baird, full count. Now she has to protect the plate. Dale looks in, rocks and fires. Grounder right back up the middle. It'll get into center field, and Baird will be on with a base hit for the Lumberjacks. That'll bring up Addison Stewart with no outs. A runner on first. Stewart batting, let's see here. Where's she at on my stats? 453 on the year. 6 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs, 25 RBI. She'd like to add another one to her total here. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1 to Stewart. On deck for the Lumberjacks is the sophomore Adeline Turner. In the hole is the senior Brenna Elliott. A 1-0 pitch on the way. Looked like a fastball, but it's going to come in across low. 2 balls, no strikes now to Stewart. Addie way up in the front of that batter's box. 2-0 pitch on the way. Going to swing on that one. Pop that one up and over. Foul ball, strike 1. 2-1 count now to Stewart. Stewart steps back in after that foul ball. Deo looking in, gets her signals from Diffin. Rocks and fires. High inside, ball 3. 3-1 count now to Stewart. The Maniacs use wristbands. They get a signal from their coach for the call. 3-1 pitch on the way. That one's going to be left high and inside as well, so it'll be ball 4. Lumberjacks have runners on first and second with no outs. And the sophomore, Adeline Turner, coming to the plate for St. Mary. She's batting .443 on the year. 24 RBIs, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs. On deck for St. Mary's is Elliott, another senior. In the hole is Watkins, a sophomore. First pitch to Turner. Up high. Ball 1 to Turner. She needs to watch her foot. She's out of the batter's box. She's going to swing on that and get a foul tip on it. Now, I'm not totally versed on those rules, so I'm not sure if when she starts her swing, if it has to be totally in the box or what, but she's right on the line. 1-1 count to Turner. Big swing and a miss at that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Turner. A little bit of a breeze picking up here in the afternoon. Now she has to protect the plate. Next pitch, little pop ball out there to right field, and it's going to land fair. And they're going to send Baird home, and Baird will be safe. And a run will come across, so we'll call that a single on a fly ball. She comes in on the throw. Stewart ends up on the throw to third base. So runners at the corners. Now actually Adeline Turner gets over to second base on the throw. So runners at second and third. Now, quick time, Coach Diffin came out and talked to the field umpire. Not sure what the question is exactly. Not sure what the question is.
You're listening to the home of Lumberjack Sports, 1240 KOFE St. Mary.
The coach for the Maniacs was looking for some interference because our base runner at first base ran into the first baseman. Didn't get that call from the umpire, so there's no outs. 2 runs across for the Lumberjacks. First pitch to Elliott's going to miss up high for ball 1. Runners at second and third for St. Mary's. No outs. Brenna Elliott, a senior, batting .291 on the year. 23 RBIs, 6 doubles, and a triple for her. Next pitch she's going to take a big swing at, miss for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Elliott. Watkins on deck, Sloper in the hole. Still no outs here in the bottom of the first. That pitch misses up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lumberjacks would love to get some more runs across the plate here early in this one. Maniacs, an ever dangerous team when they get to batting. 1-2 count to Elliott. Nice pitch. Going to catch the outside corner, strike 2. 2-2 count now to Elliott. Lumberjacks in the 5, 6, and 7 spots in their batting order. 2-2 pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Brings up Watkins for the Lumberjacks. She's a sophomore, batting .244 on the year. 11 RBIs and 1 double on the season. On deck is Sloper. In the hole is Asbury. She's a lefty. She's going to hit that one down third base line. It's going to go foul. Just about caught Stewart in the toe over at third base as she was starting to move down the baseline. 0-1 count to Watkins. Deo takes a look at her wristband, now steps up. Left-handed pitcher for the Maniacs. That's going to be fouled up. That's fouled as well. 0-2 the count now to Watkins. pitch, 1-0-2 pitch on the way. Kind of an off-speed pitch there. Watkins does a good job of getting a piece of it and fouling it off. Count remains 0-2 to Watkins as she protects the plate. 1 out for St. Mary's. Runners at second and third. They've got a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first. Next pitch on the way. That one's going to be down in the dirt. Ball 1, going to be a wild pitch, and Stewart will come in. And Turner will advance over to third base. So the score now 3-1 in favor of the Lumberjacks in the bottom of the first inning. 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled off as well by Watkins as she battles at the plate. Deo with 30 total pitches here in the bottom of the first inning. Next pitch on the way. Going to get a swing and a miss on that one. Chaplin kind of came across a little bit low. Strikeout and 2 outs for the Lumberjacks. Brings up the senior Danica Sloper. Sloper, let's see here. Her stats, she's batting .333 on the year. 19 hits, 11 RBIs, 3 doubles. First pitch catches that outside corner for strike 1. Sloper, I think, thought it was a little bit further outside than what the umpire gave it credit for. 0-1 count to Sloper. 0-1 pitch on the way. Oh, same spot, strike 2. Going to catch her looking again. 0-2 count to Sloper. Sloper has to protect now. That pitch is going to miss up high, trying to get her to chase one. 1-2 count to Sloper. One-two pitch. That's going to be fouled down the left field line. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sloper. That pitch is going to be Line drive ground ball out to right field. It'll bring a run in as Sloper gets on with an RBI single. I'm going to call it a grounder. So runner at first now for the Lumberjacks. 4 runs across here in the bottom of the first. St. Mary's with a 4-1 advantage currently. Brings up Mia Asbury with 2 outs. Mia, a senior. First pitch to Mia, she's going to swing at, miss, strike 1. Mia on the year. Batting .214. 6 hits on 8 with 8 RBIs, 2 triples on the year. And that one's going to miss low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Asbury. Asbury's capable of lifting them over the fence. She hasn't had one yet this year. Triple right here would be just as good. 1-1 count to Asbury. She's going to swing at that one, fouls it backwards. 1-2 count now to Asbury with 2 down. On deck for St. Mary's, the number 9 batter is Kendra Nicholson. So if Asbury gets on, the Lumberjacks will have just about batted around. 1-2 pitch. That's going to be hit right back to the third baseman, Brian Hanna, and that will finalize the inning. Lumberjacks, though, come up with 4 runs, and one of those a home run. I think they had 3 or 4 hits in that first inning. It is 4-1 in favor of the Lumberjacks going into the top of the second. It'll be Sierra Tondevold batting, Reese Deo on deck, and Kennedy Coleman in the hole when we return.
Triple X Feeds in St. Mary's is your one-stop farm and garden shop. Everything from pet supplies to livestock feeds and supplies, Triple X Feeds has it. Horse supplies, they have that also. From saddle pads to bridles, Triple X Feeds can set you up. Triple X Feeds now has hay and alfalfa in stock as well as straw. Triple X Feeds, located at 130 East College Avenue in St. Mary's, open 8 to 5:30 weekdays and 9 to 5 on Saturdays. Triple X Feeds, a proud Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsor.
And we are back. We want to honor the next senior for the Lumberjack girls, Brenna Elliott. Her guardians, Brian and Katie Elliott. She has 13 years of playing softball. After high school, Brenna plans to attend the University of Idaho and pursue a degree in nursing. Activities in school include National Honor Society, BPA, HOSA, volleyball, basketball, softball, and ASB vice president. Her most memorable moment was getting 3rd at softball state in Pocatello her sophomore year. I was there for that. That was a good year. Brenna would like to thank. We'll get to the thank yous as soon as we can, as we're ready for the first pitch to Sierra Tondevold. Tondevold is a sophomore, batting .345 on the year for the Maniacs. 12 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a triple. First pitch was outside for ball 1. Next pitch, ground ball into the right field, base hit for Tondevold. No, she's going to try to get, just safe as she gets to second. That was a close play as Brenna Elliott just missed placing the tag on her. That'll bring up the left-handed batter, Reese Deo. First pitch is over her head, ball 1. Going to get a wild pitch that advances the runner over to third. So Tondevold to third base for the Maniacs, and this is where Orfino can do some damage a little bit. They have some speed, and they can get around the bases quickly. Reese Deo, a junior. That pitch is going to be a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Deo. She's a lefty. She's the pitcher, .264 on the season. Here's her batting average, 14 RBIs, 4 doubles, and a home run. Next pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Deo. 1-2 count on the way. Gonna bring her up on an outside corner, strike 3. Catcher looking. I thought that was going to be a ball, and the umpire says no, that catches the outside of the plate. 1 out, runner on first for the Maniacs. Brings up Kennedy Coleman. I think the first pitch is a ball. Kennedy Coleman, a senior, batting .377 on the year. 18 RBIs, 5 doubles, 20 hits. Swing and a miss at the next pitch. I know it's an 0-1 count at least, or possibly a 1-1. Possibly a 1-2, but I'm pretty sure that first pitch was a ball. On deck will be the top of the order. That one's going to be in the dirt. It's a 2-1 count to Coleman. On deck is Hannah. In the hole is Olive. 1 out runner at third. Next pitch on the way. That one's right down the middle, called strike 2. 2-2 count now to Coleman. That one's going to lift a little high. 3-2 full count now to Coleman. Stewart needs to win this battle here with Coleman. And she will. Gets her to swing at a nice pitch down the middle. And it'll be strike 3 out number 2. Brings up the leadoff for the Maniacs. She took 3 pitches and 3 strikes in her first at bat, so she struck out swinging. Hannah at the plate, Olive on deck for Orofino. She'll swing on that pitch. Going to be popped up, and coming up to make the catch is Watkins for the out on the fly out. So that runner on second base or on third base is no threat to the Lumberjacks as they put the Maniacs back to the dugout and back on defense. Lumberjacks lead it 4-1 into the bottom of the second. Lumberjacks will have Kendra Nicholson at the bottom of the lineup, then the top of the order, Thomas and Baird, when we return.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
And we are back, and the thank yous from Brenna Elliott. She'd like to thank her dad and mom, Sean, Kieran, Rory, her grandma, Margie, and grandpa Larry, her aunts, uncles, and cousins, Mia, Addie, Danica, Avery, Maddie, Becky, Wickard, Bassler, the Watkins, the Badgetts, Jeff Anderson, Tony, Crum, Tammy, Mike, Bob, Peen, her teammates, and anyone else that she may have forgotten. That is Lumberjack senior Brenna Elliott. And we got Kendra Nicholson to the plate for the Lumberjacks. Nicholson, a junior. She's going to foul that one back for strike 1. She has 4 hits, 6 RBIs, and 1 double on the year. Oh, 1 count to Nicholson. That pitch is going to be a called strike. Umpire's been fairly consistent with that outside corner of the plate. 0-2 count now to Nicholson. Has to protect. 0-2 pitch on the way. That one's going to be up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Nicholson. A 1-2 pitch on the way. Up high once again, runs the count to 2-2. Nicholson doing a good job. Daniel looks in, rocks and fires the 2-2 pitch. Ooh, must have just been low, maybe a little bit too far outside. 3-2 count to Nicholson. Full count pitch on the way. She's going to foul that one off. Stays alive. Count remains 3-2 to Kendra. Once again on deck, top of the order, the senior Maddie Thomas. In the hole, the senior Avery Baird. 3-2 pitch on the way. That's going to be popped right out to Olivia Johnson, the shortstop. I'll call it kind of a fly out. Might have been almost a soft line drive. 1 out, top of the order for the Lumberjacks. Maddie Thomas, home runner, first at bat, out to right field. First pitch to Thomas. She's going to swing on that. That one's going to get up and foul, and that one's going to get out here into the crowd. 0-1 count to Thomas. Avery Baird on deck. Addison Stewart in the hole for the Lumberjacks. Oh, 1 pitch. That's going to be that spot. Strike on the outside corner. 0-2 is the count to Thomas. Now she has to battle, has to protect the plate. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. Ground ball to the shortstop. Throw is going to be, no, it's going to be an error. We're going to say on the first baseman. As that ball comes out of her glove. And they're actually on the air. Gonna award a free base to her. I'm just guessing that the ball got far enough out of play that they assume that they're saying she should have made it over to second. I'm not sure, but they did award Maddie with a free base over there. Maybe there was something to do with some interference from the first baseman or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, brings up Avery Baird, who hit a single her first at bat. 1 out. That'll be a fly ball. It's going to drop fair, and the right fielder is going to try to catch it. She won't catch it, and the ball goes out of bounds, rolls to the fence, and that'll bring Maddie Thomas all the way home, and Avery ends up on third on the throw. I'm going to actually call that a double. And she got over to third on the throw. So 1 run across for the Lumberjacks here in the bottom of the second inning. Lumberjacks with a 5-1 lead over the Maniacs. Avery Baird sits at third. Addie Stewart with a hit out in the left field that'll bring in a run. Addie walking her first bat, put that one in play with a single down the left field line. And the Lumberjacks bring in another run as St. Mary's stretches it to 6-1. Brings up Adeline Turner, 1 out, runner at first for St. Mary's. Turner had a single into right field, her first at bat. On deck for the Lumberjacks is Elliott. In the hole is Watkins. First pitch, high and inside, ball 1. Stewart's going to get over to... Oh, Stewart's going to find herself in a bit of a pickle here. Nope, they're just going to chase her back and not going to worry about the possibility of an error on the defensive side of things. So they just held the ball at third and chased Stewart back over to second base. Stewart got lucky that they didn't want to push the issue of trying to get her into a rundown. Next pitch, just going to take a check swing at, fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike to Turner. Turner tried to stop the bat from going around and pull that thing back, and ball just caught the end of it. 1-1 count to Turner. On deck is Elliott. That pitch has got that corner, strike 2. If I recall right, in her last at bat, she was down 0-2 or 1-2. Battled back to get on base. And that's a little blooper caught by the second baseman, and then Addie gets caught off the bag, and she's going to run into the second baseman trying to get back to the bag, and that'll be a tagged out. So we've got kind of a fly out to the second baseman, and she was tagged out by the second baseman. So Lumberjacks do put up a couple more runs. They lead 6-1 now, going into the top of the third over the Maniacs. Sadie Olive, Riley Diffin, Livia Johnson, the next 3 up for the Maniacs when we return.
St. Mary's Realty is a St. Mary's icon. Why? Because they are a team. They work for you. And they've been a team for many years. Whether you are buying your first home, looking for a recreational cabin, or selling your current home, St. Mary's Realty puts their team on it for you. So stop in or give them a call today at 245-4502 and let their team be your team. That's St. Mary's Realty at 726 Main Avenue, St. Mary's.
Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat, located next to Harvest Foods in St. Mary's. Open 24 hours, we have washers and dryers of all sizes to get your laundry done quickly. If you'd like to get your laundry done in less than 5 minutes, take advantage of our drop-off laundry service where we wash, dry, and fold it for you. While you do your laundry, be sure to take advantage of our touchless automatic car wash, which has that great undercarriage spray to get the grime off. Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat can be found at riverbendbubbles.com or call 208-582-4844.
And we're back. First pitch to Sadie Olive. Down low, ball one. Sadie walked in her first at bat. On deck for the Maniacs will be Diffin. In the hole is Johnson. Low and inside. 2 balls, no strikes now to Olive. Olive steps out of the box for a second. Pitch on the way now. Going to swing at that. Lift it out into right field. One hopper to Avery Baird, and they'll keep the runner at first on a single. That'll bring up Riley Diffin, the heavy hitter for the Maniacs. One of 2 with multiple home runs on the year. Again, Riley, you don't want to give her anything that's really, really nice to swing on. She did hit a single into right field her last at bat, or her first at bat. She's going to swing and bunt that one. Little sacrifice bunt, throw down to first in time. Now the Maniacs have a girl in the middle, but Lumberjacks aren't going to push the issue either with trying to get the run down. So we're going to call that a sacrifice bunt. One out, runner at second for Orofino. Livia Johnson to the plate, had a single into center fielder first at bat. She's going to pop that one up high on the infield. Addie Stewart calls for it, makes the catch. And almost caught the Sadie Olive off the bag a little bit too far over at second base. Addie chucked the ball out there. She just got her foot back on the bag just in time. So 2 outs, runner at second for Orofino. Deo to the plate. Paige Deo, she walked her first at bat. First pitch, I think, was a bit high for ball 1. One 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be a called strike. 1-1 count now to Deo. One pitch, swung on, fouled off. That one came pretty close to a pretty nice black truck sitting out there in the parking lot. 1-2 count to Deo. 2 outs for the Maniacs. Nobody on, or runner at second. That one's fouled off as well. Now I think she's aiming for that black pickup truck. 1-2 count to Paige Deo. 1-2 count. Low and inside. 2-2 count now to Deo. Lumberjacks would love to get that third out here and retire the Maniacs without giving them any runs. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that'll retire the sides. No runs. 1 hit, I think, and 1 left on base. The score into the bottom of the third. St. Mary's leads it 6-1 over the Maniacs. We've got Elliott Watkins and Danica Sloper the next up for St. Mary's. Our next senior is Danica Sloper. Danica's guardians, Brent and Jamie Sloper. She has 12 years of playing softball. After high school, Danica plans to attend North Idaho College and study early childhood education. Her activities in school include basketball, softball, and ASB. Her most memorable moment was Battle of the Bands on the bus. Danica would like to thank her mom, her grandma Cindy and grandpa Dan, grandma Marge and grandpa Hugh, her brothers Xavier and Glover, all of her aunts, uncles, and cousins, Maddie, Ed, Avery, Brenna, Mia, Addie, Bailey, Bill, and Misty Thomas, the Turners, Lanio, Mallet, Becky, Andrew, the Booster Club, Jeff Anderson, Barry Badgett, Brianne, Tammy, Bob, Mike, all of her teammates she has had over the years, and anyone else that has helped her along the way. St. Mary's Lumberjack Senior, Miss Danica Sloper. The next senior on our lineup will be Addie Stewart, but now we've got Brenna Elliott stepping to the plate. Brenna, a senior for the Lumberjacks. Brenna struck out swinging her first at bat. Low and outside, ball 1. Reese-Deo takes a look at that sheet on her wrist. Now rocks and fires. Going to lose control on that one. 2 balls, no strikes to Elliott. Two-0 pitch. That one will be a called strike. I think Elliott maybe thought that was going to be a little high. Didn't get the benefit of that call. 2-1 count to Elliott. On deck is Watkins, in the hole is Sloper. Next pitch on the way. Oh, outside corner, strike 2. Again, he's been fairly consistent with that corner on the outside. 2-2 count to Elliott. She has to protect now. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing. Chopping ground ball back to the pitcher. And that'll be a ground out for the leadoff. Brings up Lissa Watkins. She struck out swinging in her first at bat. Danica Sloper on deck. Mia Asbury in the hole. Lissa, the lefty. First pitch on the way. High and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom of the third inning. Lumberjacks lead 6-1. 1 out, nobody on for the Lumberjacks here in the third. 1-0 pitch on the way. Again, high. I don't think that one was really outside, but it was definitely up high. 2 balls, no strikes now to Watkins. Two-0 pitch. That is going to be hit foul into left field. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Everybody returns after they get that foul ball back into the pitcher. 2-1 count to Watkins. Deo steps back up, toes the rubber, looks into Diffin. Rocks and fires. Nice pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2-2 count now to Watkins. Brought a little bit of heat with that last pitch. 2-2 pitch on the way. Another nice looking pitch. That was laced down the foul over the third base dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes still to Watkins. That pitch is going to miss up high. Runs the count full 3-2 to Lissa Watkins. Once again, nobody on base. 1 out for the Lumberjacks here in the bottom of the third. Danica Sloper on deck. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 outs for St. Mary's now. That was a nice pitch down the middle to take a big swing at. Just swung right over the top of it. Sloper hit a single into the right field in her first at bat. On deck for St. Mary's, Asbury in the hole, Nicholson. That one must have been a bit high. Oh, a 1-0 count to Sloper. Next pitch on the way. That is going to be a foul ball, and it's going to be right up against the fence. Diffin just couldn't quite get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's one of those ones where you got a lot going on with that. You got to keep an eye where that fence is. You got to see if that ball's going to come down on the inside or the outside of the fence, and that thing was about half a foot from being on the opposite side of the fence. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sloper. Next pitch. That'll be lifted out into center field, left center, and it'll drop for a base hit for Sloper. She's going to round first, hold up, and head back to the bag. Runner on first for the Lumberjacks. That's Sloper. At the plate is Asbury. Asbury had a line drive out hit to the third baseman, Bryn Hanna, in her first at bat. First pitch, catches that outside corner, strike 1. Oh, 1 count to Asbury. On deck is Nicholson. That pitch looked like it was going to be inside. Big swing by Asbury. Strike 2. 0-2 count now to Mia. Mia has to protect now. 0-2 count to Asbury. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that'll retire the sides. No runs for the Lumberjacks on that one. I think they had 1 hit and 1 left on base. Into the top of the 4th. St. Mary's leads it 6-1. It is the 6-7-8 slot for the Maniacs. Waters, Tondvold, and Deo. When we come back, and we will come back, we'll do a senior spotlight, or not a senior spotlight, but another senior. We've got Addie Stewart for the Lumberjacks. Her guardians, Adam and Stormy Stewart, 13 years of playing softball for Addie. After high school, she plans to attend Spokane Community College and play softball at Spokane Falls Community College. Activities in school, BPA, HOSA, ASB, and softball. Her most memorable moment was when Danica puked on the side of the bus, and Tammy, the bus driver, was not happy about it. Addie would like to thank her mom, her dad, Amato, Wyatt, Ayla, her grandparents, Coach Mallet, Becky, Danica, Mia, Brenna, Avery, Maddie, Miss Wickard, Bassler, the Watkins, Tony, the Brousseaus, the McGrills, the Turners, Tammy, Peen, all of her teammates, and anyone else that has supported her through the years. That is Lumberjack senior Addie Stewart.
You're listening to the home of Lumberjack Sports, 1240 KOFE St. Mary's.
And we'll have Maddie Waters leading off for the Maniacs. She bats in that number 6 slot for Orofino. She has a strikeout swinging in her first at bat. On deck will be Tondvold in the hole, Reese Deo, as we're in the 6-7-8 part of the lineup for Orofino. First pitch, going to swing on it. And it's going to be an error by the Lumberjacks as Watkins has that one pop off of her glove. So runner on for Orofino. Brings up Tondvold. Tondvold had a single into right fielder first at bat. First pitch to Tondvold is going to be down low. And Lumberjacks tried to throw it down to second base. The ball is not. Let's see. And I'm going to have an error there on the Lumberjacks. So 2 errors there for St. Mary's. Puts a runner at third with no outs. Swing and a miss on the next pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tondvold. Lumberjacks faced this in the last inning. The Maniacs had a runner on second and third base a couple times. St. Mary's been able to hold them on. That pitch is inside for ball 2. 2-1 count to Tondvold. 2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2-2 count now to Tondvold. On deck is Reese Deo. In the hole is Kennedy Coleman. The 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Maniacs. That's going to be fouled down the left field line, or right field line. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tondvold. Everybody resets after the foul ball. 2-2 count with nobody out and a runner on third for Orofino. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul tip on that one. Just got a piece of it. Count remains 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Got her to chase that high ball. And I don't know if that was a rise ball or just chasing something high. Strike 3, 1 out for the Maniacs. Brings up the lefty, Reese Deo. She struck out looking at her first at bat. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Stewart has struck out 6 already today. That pitch is going to miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been one that they've been given a little bit. That one might have just been a little bit too far out. 1-1 count to Deo. That'll be fouled down the right field line. Get all the way out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Reese Deo. On deck once again is Kennedy Coleman. Then it'll be to the top of the order, Bryn Hanna, if Orofino gets those 2 runners on. Runner at third for the Maniacs. 1 out 1-2 count to Deo. Pitch on the way. Again, fouled off. That one staying in play. Making the catch just over the fence is Baird. Oh, and a little bit of excitement from making that catch and getting the out. It kind of lost focus for a minute, and Waters comes in. So the runner comes in from third. The Maniacs do get a score on that, 6-2. Kennedy Coleman fouls off the first pitch. It was a strike on the foul. And the next pitch is inside, ball one. Kennedy struck out swinging her first at bat. She is the bottom of the order for Orofino. 1-1 count to her. Nobody on the bases for the Maniacs. A little bit high. 2-1 count now to Coleman. Next pitch on the way. That's a hard hit ball. That's going to roll to the fence in left field. Coleman going to get to second, give her the stand-up double. So 2 outs, runner at second base for Orofino brings up the top of the order, Bryn Hanna. Hanna's 0 for 2, strikeout swinging in a flyout in her first 2 at-bats. That flyout was to the second baseman. On deck will be Olive, and the hole is dipping. First pitch a little high and outside, ball one. Lumberjacks Maniacs here. This game for the league title. Swing and a miss, strike one. Right now St. Mary's with the advantage, 6-2. Top of the 4th inning. 2 outs for the Maniacs and a runner at second base. Bryn Hanna with 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch on the way. Fouls that one off. Count is 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. Low inside. 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way. Little bit low and inside. Full count now to Hanna. Three-two pitch. Ground ball, shortstop, gonna scoop it as Elliott. Throw to first in time to retire the sides. Maniacs do come up with 1 run. I think it was a couple of hits for Orofino in that inning. The score is 6-2 in favor of the Jacks going into the bottom of the 4th. And it'll be the top or the bottom of the order, Kendra Nicholson, then the top of the order, Thomas and Baird, when we return. And we are going to be right here for our next senior, final senior of the night, Maddie Thomas. Bill and Misty Thomas is her guardians. She has 13 years of playing softball. After high school, she plans to pursue a career in phlebotomy. Activities in school include basketball and softball. Her most memorable moment was when the softball team went to state her sophomore year. Maddie would like to thank her mom and dad for being her biggest supporters, Danica, Avery, Mia, Addie, and Brenna for being her best friends and always staying by her side. She'd also like to thank the rest of her teammates for always making each year such a memorable year. Lanio and Brienne, Mr. Anderson, Barry, the Booster Club for making this all possible, Mallet, Coach Tony, Tammy Hodall, Peen, Dakota Wickard, Michelle Davenport, Coffee Radio, all of her siblings, her nieces and nephews, the Sloper family, the Turners, and anyone else that she may have forgot. That is Maddie Thomas, Lumberjack Senior. First pitch to Nicholson, outside for ball one. She had a fly out in her first at bat. One-0 count to Nicholson. Next pitch, he's going to get a piece of that one and foul it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch on the way. Fouls that one off. That one's 1-2. And I now have found out who the black truck is. It's almost been hit a few times. That one time it did take a bounce, and it is Coach Watkins' truck. Next pitch is going to be a drop third strike. Can she get down there in time? She's safe on the drop third. Top of the order for the Lumberjacks with no outs brings up Maddie Thomas. Maddie home run in her first at bat, reached on an error in her second at bat. Once again, if you're watching it on our Sideline HD stream on YouTube or Facebook, I'm hoping that the battery will stay charged long enough to get the whole game in on the stream. First pitch to Thomas, up high, ball 1. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Thomas. One pitch from Deo on the way. Low. That one was low and outside. 2-1 count now. Next pitch is going to be up high. 3-1 count to Thomas. No outs, runner at first for the Lumberjacks. Top of the order. You got Thomas, Baird, and Stewart. The next 3 up. Were really Maddie's already on deck, so the next are on at the plate, so 2 up. 3-1 pitch on the way. High inside, ball 4. Runners at first and second now with no outs. Brings up Avery Baird. Avery has a single and a double. Coach Diffin going to go out and see his pitcher real quick.
You're listening to the home of Lumberjack Sports, 1240 KOFE St. Mary's.
And we're back. Real quick visit there. Actually, we are getting a pitching change, so we'll take a break while they get the new pitcher warmed up, and I'll tell you who it is when we come back.
Whistle Stop Coffee and More has come a long way from the little shop on Railroad Avenue. How far? Not only did they upgrade their Railroad Avenue location, they added a second location. That second location for Whistle Stop Coffee and More is on 313 St. Joe River Road. Both locations offer tasty drinks of coffee, Red Bull, or Lotus Energy, and food options, from acai bowls to cookies and delicious bagel sandwiches. Whistle Stop Coffee and More is the perfect stop for a quick bite and a drink on your way to work or school. Whistle Stop Coffee and More in St. Mary's. Does your furry friend need a bath? Don't want to deal with the hassle and the mess from bathing your furry friend? Make an appointment with Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop today. Barks and Bubbles, located at 402 North 10th Street in St. Mary's, will have your furry friend looking and feeling like $1 million in no time. And guess what? No mess at home, no scratches, and no getting soaked from head to toe. Let Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop handle the work.
And we are back. Sadie Olive comes to pitch. She has a 3.78 earned run average for the Maniacs. And, they're going to get the out at second. Avery Baird. That was really close. They're going to get the fielder's choice. It looks like Coach Lane wants to ask the ref or the umpire. Appeal to maybe being safe. And now the home plate umpire will come and talk to, or the outfield umpire will come and talk to the home plate umpire. And they're still going to say she was out. So 1 down. Oh, wait, I was wrong there. We need to cancel that out because in play. Fielder's choice. Okay, so runners at the corners with 1 out for the Lumberjacks. To the plate is Stewart. I'm not sure the count. I know she just fouled 1 or 2 off, so it might be an 0-2 count, 1-2 count. I got to wait and see what the umpire says. She keeps fouling them off. Addie has a walk and a single in her first 2 at-bats. I think it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Lumberjacks are going to sacrifice their first base runner and bring in Nicholson. So it's 2 outs with nobody on the bags now for the Lumberjacks. They did bring a run across. That one's going to miss up high. Not sure what the count is. I've got 2-2 right now, but I think I missed a pitch or 2. That one is going to be hit way high. And it goes out into foul territory, and it'll be caught for an out by Deo. Lumberjacks do get back the run that they gave up in the top of the 4th, and they lead at 7-2 over the Maniacs. Into the top of the 5th inning we go. And for the Maniacs, it's the 2, 3, and 4 batters, Sadie Olive, Riley Diffin, and Olivia Johnson when we return.
Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop also offers pet boarding. Call for an appointment today at 208-245-5755. That's 208-245-5755. Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop in St. Mary's.
Another one of our sponsors that we want to make mention of is Potlatch Deltic Corporation. Potlatch Deltic Corporation, they are not only one of the largest employers in St. Mary's, they are also one of the biggest contributors to our nonprofits in the area. They also hire a lot of our youth. They hire a lot of everybody, I guess you could say, but they definitely have career opportunities for anybody coming out of high school. And, you know, if you don't want to leave St. Mary's, you can get a job at Potlatch Deltic, and you can just work your way through the ranks. They offer lots of benefits and everything else. So that's Potlatch Deltic Corporation, a proud sponsor of Lumberjack Sports Broadcasts. They help out with the Booster Club and all of our other nonprofits in town. So a big shout out to, again, Potlatch Deltic here in St. Mary's. First batter, Sadie Olive, a walk and a single. Big swing at the first pitch for strike 1. Addie Stewart is at 73 pitches through 4 innings. Being that we're in the top of the 5th. Foul ball on the next pitch. 0-2 count to Olive. Oh, 2 count. Pitch, ground ball. Nice snag by Stewart from the pitcher's circle, and she'll get the throw over to first in time for the ground out. Nice defensive play by Stewart. 1 out, brings up Riley Diffin with nobody on. Diffin had a single in her first at bat, a sacrifice bunt in her second. Now she's got the green light to swing, nobody's on. She's going to lift that one out into right field. It'll go for a double for Diffin. So with 1 out, Maniacs have 1 on. Brings up Olivia Johnson. Olivia, a single in her first at bat, a fly out in her second at bat. 1 out for Orofino. On deck is Waters. Down low on the first pitch, ball one. That's going to be a base hit. That's a nice bit of hitting by Johnson. That'll bring Diffin home. They're going to try to throw in. It's not going to be in time. They're going to get the throw back. Lissa didn't get the tag down. Good relay in. They cut it off, got it over to the second baseman, but couldn't get the tag on Johnson. Nice hit by Johnson, though. One run across for the Maniacs. One out, runner on second base. Brings up Paige Deo. Deo struck out swinging her last at bat. That's going to be a base hit. Orfino getting something going here. That's going to get through Avery Baird. Going to have to give it a single. And then an error on the grounder out to right field. Maniacs have cut the lead to 3, 7-4. Coach Watkins goes out, brought the whole team in. One out, runner at third for the Maniacs. Orfino mounting a comeback here in the top of the fifth. Maddie Waters to the plate. These two teams are going to battle. No lead unless you maybe have a double-digit lead is safe when you're playing the Maniacs. Orfino, very solid squad. Lane taking a little bit too much time out there. Umpire goes out and says, break it up, got to get going. Maddie Waters reached on an error her last at bat, struck out swinging in her first at bat. Low inside, ball one. You can't let Orfino start to gain some confidence and find their bats here. We've got to shut down the momentum that they might try to build here for St. Mary's. Swing and a miss the next pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to Waters. Right now the Maniacs feeling a little bit of a momentum shift, so St. Mary's wants to shut that feeling down quickly. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1-2 count to Waters. 1 out, runner at second base. Maniacs have plated 2 here in the top of the fifth. That one's going to be fouled off. Count remains 1-2 to Waters. On deck is Tondevold, in the hole is Deo. The 6, 7, 8 batters is where we're at in the lineup for the Maniacs. 1-2 count, pitch on the way. Ground ball. Oh, that ball's going to get booted around. We got an error, and another run comes across for Orfino. I think that might have been Watkins with the error. And this is where you can't have things kind of fall apart a little bit for St. Mary's. Got to keep your heads up. Got to keep on the swivel. Lumberjacks have seen their 5-run lead cut to 2 here in the top of the fifth. 7-5 St. Mary's. Swing and a miss by Tondevold. Strike 1. Tondevold a single and a strikeout swinging. 1 out, runner at first for Orfino. Tying run sitting at home plate for the Maniacs. Going to get a piece of that one. Count is 0-2 to Tondevold after the foul ball. Oh, 2 pitch. Inside. That ball's going to pop out of the glove of Brebner, and Maddie Waters will head over to second base on, guess what we'll call a pass ball. Next pitch to Stewart is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brebner doing a good job of stopping that low pitch. 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. Fouls that one off. Ooh. Got the top of a Jeep parked over there. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tondevold. Low and inside. Runs the count full, 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Oh, and low and inside. They're going to say ball 4. Runners at first and second for the Maniacs. Brings up Deo. Got the 8, 9, and 1. Got the back to the top of the order here. Just 1 out for Orofino. Maniacs making a little bit of a push here in the top of the 5th. Not a little bit of a push. Pretty good push, in fact. Outside, low, ball 1. Lefty for the Maniacs takes a look at her play sheet. 1-0 pitch into right field. That's going to be a base hit for Deo. Runners are rounding the corners, and another run comes across. The score, 7-6 in favor of the Lumberjacks. Tying run sitting at third base for Orofino. Brings up Kennedy Coleman with 1 out. Down low, ball 1. Been a 4-run inning for the Maniacs. That's lifted into center field. That's over the head of Thomas. The tying run comes across. St. Mary's going to try to relay that in. Runners will be held up at second and third, and we got a tie ball game. Maniacs have found their hitting here in the 5th. Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Bryn Hanna. Still just 1 out for the Maniacs here in the top of the 5th inning. All tied up now, 7 apiece. That's going to be a ball. Go-ahead run's going to come across on a wild pitch. Oh, nope. Dead ball hit by pitch. So the run does not come across, just loads the bases. Sadie Olive to the plate. Riley Diffin on deck. She's going to foul that one off for strike 1. Got to hand it to the Maniacs with a nice rally here in the top of the 5th. Lumberjacks want to stop this quickly. Up high. 1-1 count to Olive. Olive a walk, a single, and a ground out. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Olive. If you can't strike her out, you want like a dribbler first grounder to the pitcher so they can get the out at home. 1-2. Down to the, gonna leave. They're gonna get the out. Run will score though. So we got a ground out to first base. Runner scores. Maniacs take the 1-run lead. 2 outs brings up the heavy hitter, Riley Diffin. And Coach Watkins says, hey, we're going to put her on. Got an open base. Livia Johnson pretty capable of hitting the ball pretty hard too, but Riley has done more damage in previous games than Livia has. Livia has 2 singles and a flyout. Bases loaded with 2 outs. That'll be to the third baseman, or to the shortstop. Oh no, they're not going to get her at third base. I think Danica had her foot off the bag. So the Maniacs go ahead by 2 runs, 9-7. Deo takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. That's Paige Dale. A walk, a strikeout, swinging, and a single for her. Next pitch fouled off, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dale. Next pitch. Gonna get a swing at that one, a ground ball. Mia Asbury will scoop it up and step on the bag. It'll retire side, but Orfino does some damage. They plated 7 runs, I think, in the top of the 5th inning. They take a 9-7 lead into the bottom of the 5th. St. Mary's will be with Adeline Turner, Brenna Ellett, and Alyssa Watkins when we return.
With a P1 FCU Ascend checking account, you get more than great dividends. Imagine having an entire branch in your pocket. Who needs a checkbook when you have a digital wallet? The only thing I check these days are my dividends.
Access your account anytime, anywhere. Simplify your life and start earning more with Ascend Checking. Get yours today at p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, your community, your credit union. Insured by NCUA.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
And we are back. Turner leads off for the Lumberjacks. St. Mary's needs a couple of runs to tie things back up here. Turner flew out her last at bat. First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. On deck for St. Mary's is Elliott. In the hole is Watkins. 1-0 pitch on the way. Swing and foul ball. One count to Turner. That one's up high. 2-1 count to Turner. Two-one count. Oh, chases after a high cheese there. 2-2 count to Turner. That one's going to be fouled off. Count remains 2-2 to Turner. Two pitch. Fouls that one off. Count remains 2-2 to Turner. Two pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. She swings underneath that one. That'll bring up Brenna Elliott for the Lumberjacks here in the bottom of the 5th. Brenna, a strikeout swing and a ground out, so she's due one here. High and outside, ball 1 to Elliott. On deck for St. Mary's is Watkins. In the hole is Sloper. Swing and a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Elliott. One pitch on the way. Fouls that one off. 1-2 count now. St. Mary's has got to figure out Sadie's pitch a little bit because she came in relief of Deo. It's only thrown 16 pitches, so St. Mary's hasn't had a chance to really figure her out just yet. And that's going to be inside. 2-2 count. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's 2 up and 2 down. Brings up Watkins here in the top of the bottom of the fifth. Watkins, 2 strikeouts in her at-bats. First pitch low and outside for ball 1. 1-0 pitch on the way. Lifted into left field. Nice job by Olivia Johnson to make the catch for the fly out from shortstop. That's 3 up and 3 down. Nice catch by Johnson. Lumberjacks trail 7-9 to the Maniacs here in the top of the 6th. You've got Waters, Tondvold, and Deo, the 6, 7, and 8 batters, headed up for the Maniacs.
Well, well, well. Are you in need of a reputable, experienced, and knowledgeable well drilling and pump company? Look no further than Interstate Drilling and Pump. Interstate Drilling and Pump drills new wells, deepens existing wells, installs and repairs pumps, and does well testing both for water quality and gallons per minute. Interstate Drilling and Pump has 24-plus years of experience and serves from Moscow to Rathdrum and the Silver Valley. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on their schedule today. That's Interstate Drilling and Pump, 208-245-5101. 208-245-5101, Interstate Drilling and Pump.
And we are back. Another one of our sponsors is the Country Fair in St. Mary's. Stop by and check them out. They got their summer fashion rolling in daily, new stuff all the time. They've got boots and shoes and hoodies and clothes, toys, cards, just about anything you could ask for. Stop by the Country Fair on Main Street in St. Mary's. Maddie Waters to the plate for Orofino. First pitch is high for ball 1. She has reached on 2 errors and has a strikeout swinging. She's 0 for 3 on the day. Low inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Stewart pitching pretty well. Needs to refocus here. That one's going to be down low, ball 3. Three-0 count to Stewart, or to be a called strike on the inside. 3-1 count to Waters. See if Addie can battle her way back from the pitching circle. Swing, ground ball, throw to first in time. Good job by the Lumberjack defense. One down brings up Tondvold. Tondvold walked her last at bat. Strikeout swinging in her second at bat and a single in her first at bat. Single was out to right field. On deck is Deo, then then Kennedy Coleman. Not the top of the order just yet. Low and inside, ball 1. That's going to be nice scoop up by, nice play by Brenna Elliott. The scoop on the one hopper, the spin, the throw to first in time for the out. I'm going to call it a fly out, so kind of a one hopper. Brings up Reese Deo, singled her last at bat. First pitch is going to be a called strike. Strikeout looking to fly on a single for Reese, the lefty. Woo! That's the first time all year I think I've ducked away from one. That foul ball came right back at me, and I just about ducked under my table. 0-2 count, and a swing and a miss, but a drop third strike to throw in time for the out. Lumberjacks will go 3 up and 3 down for the Maniacs. So the Lumberjacks still have the bottom of the 6th and bottom of the 7th to try to get back the lead. For St. Mary's, we'll be at Sloper, Asbury, and Nicholson. St. Mary's trails 9-7 to the Maniacs. Going into the bottom of the 6th, we'll be back.
Tax time is here again. I know, it's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most. Help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's It's about personal care, so you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Lead off was Danica Sloper, and she's going to hit a ground ball to the third baseman. The third baseman, Hannah, I think, kind of bobbles it for a second, able to recover and get the throw to first in time. Brings up Asbury. Big swing at the first pitch for strike one. Mia is 0 for 2, a line drive out and a strikeout. On deck is Nicholson, in the hole is Thomas. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2 to Asbury. Oh, 2 count. Mia's going to get hit by pitch. She'll be on first. Brings up Nicholson, bottom of the order with 1 out. So just another quick update. This game, winner of this game will be the league champion. They'll get to host their district tournament games. The team that loses will be the second place team. They'll basically get to host all of their games as well until if these two teams ended up meeting up again. That's going to be a nice piece of hitting by Nicholson up the middle. Nicholson's headed around to second. She'll get there. As probably could call it an error on the right, the center fielder. Now she let that ball get behind her after couldn't get it stopped. So 1 out. Runners have the tying run sitting at second base. Maddie Thomas to the plate. She hit a home run in her first at bat. 1 out. She's going to square around for the bunt. And oh, they're going to get Mia out, headed home. That was not what the Lumberjacks wanted. Big swing and a miss at that pitch. Strike 1 to Baird. 2 outs with runners at first and second now. Should have just held up at third base. Bases would have been loaded. That one's going to be fouled off for strike 2. Tying run is still represented at first base for the Lumberjacks. Baird 2 for 3, a single, a double, and a reach on a fielder's choice. 0-2 count to Baird. Just a little blooper caught by the third baseman. That'll put us into the top of the 7th inning. St. Mary's strands a couple on the bases. St. Mary's trails 7-9 to the Maniacs into the top of the 7th. And bottom of the order for the Maniacs, it's the number 9 batter, Coleman. Then the top of the order, Bryn Hanna and Sadie Olive.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau Insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life. Plus, they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
There we are back. Got the Maniacs up at the plate trying to add some insurance runs to their lead. They're up by 2. That'll be a hit down the left field line, and Kennedy Coleman will be on base. That was the number 9 batter for Orofino. Top of the order now. Oh, and an error on St. Mary's. I didn't catch who committed that, but that was a throw that got past, I think, Stewart. So the runner ends up on second base. Hannah was hit by pitcher last at bat. She's going to foul that first pitch off, strike one. Don't want to give the Maniacs any more insurance here. They've already got a 2-run lead. This has been a heck of a ball game either way this goes. Down low, ball one. Wild pitch will get the runner to third. So another insurance run sitting at third base for Orofino. That they're going to say was up high. 2-1 count. I thought that was a pretty good pitch myself. 2-1 no to Hannah. Fouls that one off. Count is 2-2 now to Hannah. Like I was mentioning before the break, if St. Mary's finishes second place in league, they'll still host pretty much all their league games or their district tournament games. That one's fouled off. 2-2 count still to Hannah. Only time St. Mary's have to travel in district tournament is if they have to face Orofino. Ground ball to the shortstop. Elliott, the throw is going to be down in the dirt. And the run will score, and the runner is safe on an error there. Well, I probably gave the error to possibly the wrong person, but runner safe. The Maniacs have stretched it to a 3-run lead, 10-7. Sadie Olive to the plate for Orofino. Nobody out. Runner at first. Lumberjacks would love to turn a double play. That's going to be a strike called on the inside corner. Throw over to first. Not going to be in time as Hannah just gets back to the bag. Next pitch fouls that one down the right field line. 0-2 count now to Olive. On deck is Diffin, the ever dangerous Diffin. See what Coach Watkins decides to do when Diffin gets up. 0-2 count to Olive. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and she'll retire Olive. Brings up Riley Diffin. Diffin has a single, a sacrifice bunt, a double, and a intentional walk. Coach going to let Stewart pitch to her. She's going to foul the first one back for strike one. Oh, 1 count. Fouls that one off for strike 2. Coach Watkins going to call a quick timeout and go talk to Hattie real quick. Brebner was about to head out. Coach said, nah, go ahead and stay back there. Just give me the ball. Going to try to lock Stewart in out there in the pitching circle. 0-2 count to Diffin. Oh, 2 pitch. Try to get her chase one up high. Wouldn't do it. Bryn Hannah does still second, though. 1-2 count to Diffin. Oh, a little high and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a high fly ball. Calling for it is Elliott. She'll make the catch from shortstop. Two outs. Brings up Johnson. Johnson's had a pretty good day for the Maniacs. Singled her first at bat, then a fly out, then 2 more singles. 3 for 4. On deck's Paige Deo. She's going to lift that one into center field. Calling for it, making the catch is the senior out in center, Maddie Thomas. That will retire the side, but the pressure on now for the Lumberjacks. They need to plate at least 3 runs to get into extra innings. They need to plate a 4th one to get the walk-off win. Lumberjacks are at the not middle, but the 3, 4, and 5 batters. Let's put it that way. So we got Stewart, Turner, and Elliott up next.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. Details.
And we are back. Come back just a tad early. We don't want to miss any at-bats or pitches here. As we got Addison Stewart stepping to the plate for the Lumberjacks. A walk, a single, and a fly out for Stewart. Lumberjacks need 3 runs to tie it, 4 to win it. Bottom of the 7th inning. Sadie Olive pitching pretty good as she came in relief of Deo. See if St. Mary's can figure her out now. And that's going to be a high foul ball. Caught for an out down the third base line. Maniacs have the first out. Brings up Turner. 1 out, nobody on. St. Mary's needs, once again, 3 runs. That one's going to be lifted to right field. That'll be caught by the right fielder, Waters, for an out in foul territory. So 2 down, nobody on for the Lumberjacks. Brings up Brenna Elliott. Brenna struck out swinging her last at bat. First pitch, high fly ball. And it'll be caught by Sierra Tondevold for the fly out. What a ball game here today. St. Mary's takes off early and gets out to I think it was a 7-2 lead at one point. The Maniacs battled back in the 5th, took the lead, and they would not relinquish that lead for the rest of the game. That was a heck of a battle, and I guarantee you, I think these 2 teams will probably meet up again for a championship game. The bad thing is that championship game, if it does happen for the district championship, will be in Orofino. The only thing that St. Mary's can hope for is that the Grangeville Bulldogs maybe upsets Orofino there. Grangeville has beat Orofino once already, but we got to wait and see who's playing who in districts, of course, before that happens. But like I said, this game means that all of Orofino's district tournament games will go through Orofino, and basically all of St. Mary's district tournament games will come through St. Mary's. So the only time that I'll change, obviously, is if St. Mary's has to play Orofino in the championship game. Then the Lumberjacks would head up to Orofino. But this was a heck of a ball game. My hat's off to both teams. They both played well. I'll give you a quick recap of the scoring. Maniacs plated 1 in the 1st inning. They plated 1 in the 4th inning. Then a 7-run 5th inning gave them a lead. They put a 1 run across the top of the 7th to give them a 3-run lead. Orofino had 12 hits on 2 with 2 errors and 9 left on base. St. Mary's, they had 4 runs in the 1st inning, 2 runs in the 2nd, a run in the 4th, and were shut out in the last 3 innings. 7 runs on 9 hits for the Lumberjacks. 5 St. Mary's errors really played a little bit of a part in this, I'm sure, if I look at the actual the earned runs, and 4 left on base. So let me see, where are the stats on this? Again, I'm using something a little bit different. Let me look. I think if I click there we go. So let's go down to visitor. Let's see the unearned runs. Oh, wait. Let's go back. That's home. So unearned runs. 10 runs for Orofino. Earned runs were 6. So that right there kind of tells you where those earned runs did hurt. Those unearned runs did hurt St. Mary's. If St. Mary's doesn't have the errors, then quite possibly it's a 7-6 ball game. Actually, no, it would be less than 7-6 ball game because there's 4 unearned runs for the Maniacs. But still, a heck of a ball game. St. Mary's played pretty good. Just a few too many errors by the Lumberjacks, and I kind of mentioned in that pregame that it would come down to who made the least amount of mistakes, and in this one, that would be the Orofino Maniacs. So hats off to them. I'm sure, like I said, we'll see a matchup again with the Maniacs later on down the season. Let's take a quick look. It's kind of a pain to try to look that up for the individual stats right now. So we're just going to call that good here from City Park Fields. Lumberjacks fall 10-7 to the Maniacs. And, we hope you guys have a great evening.
Thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of High School Sports on KOFE 1240 AM St. Mary's, your home for high school sports broadcast. We want to take a moment to thank our sports broadcast sponsors and hope that you'll do the same. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack Sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested